Çok değerli katılımcılar, meslektaşlarım, bugün BONASA Başkanımız Sayın Ali Şayakçı'yı konuk ediyoruz. Ali Şayakçı Bey ile birlikte Miss Lane ve Mr. Berk aramızda. Bugün Doğal Taş'ın Karbon Ayak İzinin diğer zemin kaplama malzemeleriyle karşılaştırılması ve Doğal Taş Sektöründe bir zorunluluk olan Çevresel Ürün Beyanı ile ilgili iki bilimsel çalışma üzerinde bir webinar düzenlemiş oluyoruz. Ben hepinize katılımınızdan dolayı teşekkür ediyorum ve bundan sonraki süreci BONASA Başkanımız Sayın Ali Şayakçı'ya bırakıyorum. Hepinize katılımınızdan ötürü teşekkür ediyorum.
Teşekkür ederim. Teşekkür ederim Aydın Başkanım. Ben de ilk önce İMİB Başkanımız Sayın Aydın Dinçer Bey'e teşekkür ediyorum. İMİB bünyesinde bu organizasyonu düzenledik ve Türkiye'de geniş bir katılım sağlayabildik bu şekilde. BONASA Dünya Doğal Taş Birliği bizim en temel amaçlarımızdan bir tanesi dünyadaki doğal taşın farklı ülkelerde, farklı endüstrilerdeki problemleriyle ilgilenmek ve bugünkü konumuza dönecek olursak doğal taşın çevreciliği konusu, doğal taşın sürdürülebilir olması konusu çok önem arz ediyor. Küre üstündeki farklı bölgelerde, farklı ülkelerde ve biz şunu biliyoruz ki her ne kadar basın tarafından, diğer endüstriler tarafından bilinmese de doğal taş çok çevreci ve sürdürülebilir bir üründür. Suni ürünlerden daha az çevreye etkisi, zararı vardır. Ve bununla ilgili çok değerli katılımcılarımız, Sayın Profesör Gerd Merke, Almanya'da Eurorack, Avrupa ve Uluslararası Doğal Taş Federasyonu direktörüdür. Sayın Sini Lane'nin aynı şekilde Finlandiya'da Doğal Taş Birliği direktörüdür. Çok değerli çalışmaları var. Bunlarla beraber BONASA olarak iştirak ettiğimiz bir iki tane daha çevre ve sürdürülebilir çalışmalarımız var. Bunu da web sitemizde ve YouTube kanalımızda görebilirsiniz. Teşekkür ederek Sayın Gerd Merke'ye ve Sayın Sini Lane'e sözü onlara bırakıyorum. En sonunda konuşmaların soruları alacağız ve onları tercüme etmeye gayret edeceğim. Soru cevap bölümümüz olacak. Teşekkür ederim geldiğiniz için. Lütfen buyurun. Professor Merke, would you like to start?
Yes, I would like to start. I open my file so that we can have a look what we are talking about. First, a very warm welcome to everybody. Unfortunately, we cannot meet in Istanbul due to this terrible virus which hurts us, everybody. I've heard that you have wonderful weather in Istanbul and it's sunny. If you look behind me and through the window, you see it's snowing. We have snow. It's not so warm, but we are in a good mood and do our best for our industry. Unfortunately, I do not speak any Turkish. Do I speak too fast for the interpreter? Does she want me to stop once in a while so that she can translate?
Mr. Merke, I think it's okay for now.
It's okay for now. Okay.
Yep.
So I speak slowly. Actually, we are very happy that we are not in the tourist industry. Tourism is at the moment terrible. Wherever you go to, it's just a nightmare. Our industry, I can give you the feedback from the countries which are members in Europe, and Turkey is a member as well. It's quite positive. Actually, the building construction industry is still working. We are all working. things are more difficult, but the traditional ways of making business are still okay. Unfortunately, the fairs cannot open. We had the fair planned in İzmir last year, which could not take place. I'm not very much optimistic for Verona this year because many countries still have limitations concerning traveling, so people from overseas will have problems to join Verona. We will see. This is the situation we cannot change. What is my subject? What would I like to talk about? Why is it important for our industry? I mean, I'm happy to be able to speak now to you in Turkey because Turkey is in many aspects a tremendous country concerning natural stone. You have wonderful marble, you're a big exporter industry, and I think there are still many possibilities for the future where you could have better business. Why did we pick this subject? Environmental products declaration. The problem is, or the situation is, that our societies get greener and greener. Everything is sustainable. Does it have a circular economy or not? How attractive is a material? In general speaking, we are very lucky because our product, stone, is ready made in the earth, already done millions of years before. We just have to dig it out from the quarries, prepare it, have some processing, and then we fix it on the walls or on the floors. It's a material we can easily use for our purposes. So we have, let's say, a natural advantage in comparison to other products. Our biggest competitors are the glass industry, the ceramics industry. You will see it in a minute. This is something we have to be aware of. We are a small industry in compared to ceramics or glass or cement, but we are a smart industry. We can do something. So a couple of years ago, we started to talk about environmental products declaration because the EU Commission in Brussels wants all European countries and everybody who is connected to Europe are very much, for example, Norway, Switzerland, Turkey, to provide a so-called EPD, Environmental Products Declaration, that the product is sustainable, is a green product. We have a green policy coming along. It is very important. We were the first that did it in the stone industry. We had some talks to our friends in Australia, to Latin America, and especially to the United States. But we were the first ones, and we had to get the money from our members and friends of the stone industry, which was quite a thing because it was quite costly for us. I think we spent around 100,000 euros for this declaration, but it's a very, very important help for our industry. Just, I would like to continue and show you the next slide to see our competitors. For example, in the ceramic tile exporting industry, you have China, Spain, India, Italy, Iran, and Turkey as well as an important exporter concerning ceramics. These are our main competitors. Ceramics in flooring or cladding is extremely important. The next issue, at least we have now the problem with other competing products like ceramics. And what shall we do? Just to give you an example, we have about 3 million square feet of glass every year produced. And glass is concerning cladding and for high rises, etc., a big problem. But fortunately, we are in a position to show that our EPD has a much better results than other products. We did follow studies that allow that to show the people that natural stone has better green criteria than other products. Just to show you how important the industries are, the glass associations you find in lots of countries, and they have a really powerful money background. The same is true for the ceramic industry. It's really David Goliath to play, and we have to find a solution for this. Just to show you, for example, rugs ceramics. This is let's say an artificial new company founded by the United Arab Emirates. They are actually worldwide present and have 12,000 people in staff. This is a very, let's say, financially stable and strong competitor. Abu Dhabi Securities is here one of the owners, and really something we have to realize there's somebody who has much more money than we have. So the next slide is how can we compete? Compete not with money, we say with our product. What we spend a lot of money or ideas for design. Design is very important, and make natural stone attractive. Attractive not only, let's say, for in hardware stores, but design for people that decide what kind of material they use. For example, in various countries, we have open door events where people come and we show what you can do with stone. We had a very important discussion with the swatch companies for watches. They have a similar problem. Do you want to buy the original or substitute? And to provide the feeling with motions to the public that the original, a natural product is better than something artificial. No artificial stone. Now we go into science. We had everything controlled. This is a paper of let's say 100 pages and a lot of research, so showing that our product is compatible to life cycle assessment, and that we actually can show that we have concerning the green footprint a very good result. There's no other product in the construction industry which is so green as our product. Even wood, which is interesting, cannot compare, because you have to clean, to preserve wood, and this takes a lot of time. Then we had let's say research concerning cleaning stone is much easier than cleaning glass, especially if you have high rises. We had a discussion with the mayor of New York, who then publicly said, we cannot continue with glass. It's not environmentally acceptable. And so we see support on a lot of levels in the public. What did we then do? It means that we do research on all steps of producing natural stone, from the quarries, diamond wire saw, grinding, miling, chip plastic, and further processes until the product. And this helps a lot, because the people can actually understand why it is a big advantage to use natural stone. If you see the steps and how people are eager in decision-making processes to decide what material to use for building construction, then it's very impressive if somebody of our federation or the research institute can explain the situation. Just to tell you how much information is in such research, it's just unbelievable how the research is done, but it helps to convince the public, especially companies, the state, that natural stone is something we can use without any problems. Another thing is transportation. A big advantage for the Turkish industry is that the stone is close to the market. It's not far away. So this people are reluctant to use stone from China or India because of transportation and other problems. But concerning Turkey, this is a big advantage because you are just before the market. It's transportation is not a big issue. Do you have questions to this research done? Please be open to ask the questions. We have now in Brussels, in the European Union, a new president, and she is for the European Green Deal. And we spent a lot of time to convincing the people that the Green Deal is for us ideal, that we have a problem with that we have a product that doesn't harm the environment. We do presentations. You have to go to all the people talking about. We say it's not enough to have a great product, but you have to talk about the great product and you have to market it. This is one of our major things. So we go to events all over Europe and present what we can do. The last thing I want to show you is that we have, let's say, material showing raw materials extraction is done by us. We do not harm the environment by our quarries. It's just, let's say, timely, visible taking off a natural material, and afterwards you don't see anything anymore. If you look in Turkey to the old Roman quarries, you have a lot of them in Turkey, then you can't see them easily anymore because nature is taking over. So if their quarrying is no harm. Then we have product design. What do we want? I mean, you have a huge variety of wonderful design elements in Turkey, from the big blocks down to the mosaics to sell everything. I mean, there are lots of possibilities. Then we have production and remanufacturing. We can use stone a second time if we want. Then we have consumption. Consumption is no problem, doesn't harm anybody. And last, not least, waste management. We do a lot to avoid waste, and of course there is some waste, but it's not harmful to the environment in the long run. This is the slogan of the EU Commission, the slogan as well of President Biden from the United States. He's following the same way. Actually, he's copying a lot of what we are doing in Europe. In this respect, the circular economy, you have to be live in a circle and not just in one road direction with a goal, and then you have waste. But we are going in a circle. This is very positive. So let's say, the message, I can tell you, I'm convinced that natural stone has a great future. We just have to be smart enough, right product design, talk to people. And in Turkey, you know yourself, you're one of the most important exporters of natural stone. Please go abroad and conquer the world. I think it's open to you. Thank you very much. Please, Ali, you should open your audio. We can't hear you.
Okay. No, okay, sorry. Thank you, Professor Merke. We will take the questions at the end. Ms. Sini Lane, would you like to continue your presentation, madam?
Absolutely. 1 second. Okay, yes. Hello, good afternoon from northern Finland. It's sunny in here and a lot less snow than in Germany. You have quite a lot in your backyard, so it's looking good here. Thank you for having me in this webinar. And the reason why I'm speaking to you here now is that last year, I'd say exactly a year ago, we published our EPD documentation here in Finland for 8 top natural stone products, and I was then requested to present some of the comparisons of the carbon footprint. And thank you, Gerd. It was really good presentation, and it's good to start mine now. So 1 second, I will share my screen. I hope you are seeing the whole screen now. I believe you are. Okay, good. Just to briefly tell you about Kivi Stone from Finland that I'm representing here. We are a small association here in Finland, and we have a bit less than 100 members. And the members are companies that are more or less operating in the natural stone industry in Finland. And we are the only association here in Finland. And of course, we are a proud member of EuroRock as well. But also, I would like to mention the Green Building Council here in Finland, which is a global organization that we are close with, and they of course are promoting the green building and construction sector all over the world. And let's have a quick look on the main drivers why we decided to calculate the EPDs for our top 8 products last year. We are here very far in the north, and our personal carbon footprint is huge. It's 10,000 kilograms per person here in Finland. Of course, we need to build our homes a bit different, and we need to heat the buildings. So we are heavy on the carbon use here. But Finland has set climate goals, and these goals are pretty tough, and we are still aiming to reach those goals. So already circular economy was mentioned in the previous presentation. We should be a leading country in that in 4 years' time. And what is important is that we should be a carbon neutral country by the 2035. So this is it's a tough one, but I think with a lot of work we can achieve this goal. And why we need the EPDs, the environmental product declarations. As we know, the construction sector is one of the biggest producers of the CO2 emissions in the world. It's just not the European problem or Finnish problem. It's all over the world. And what we need to have is a verified documentation to show how small the carbon footprint is for natural stone. It is already required here in Finland by the public sector when they are starting new building projects. So we need to have a verified document. And also already was mentioned these European standards. And we know that if we want to have an approved EPD that is verified and everything is okay in that document, it needs to follow certain European standards so that we can then rely on the comparisons with other building materials that have used the same common set of environmental indicators, and they also have a common reporting format. So this is very important to do it by the European standards. So as a result, we now have 8 EPDs, environmental product declarations, that cover the lifespan of the natural stone produced in Finland from the quarry to recycling. And this set of 8 documents includes blocks, pavement tiles, facade stones, wall stones, countertop, tombstones, steps, all kind of the most popular stone products. And we did this for granite and also slate, because those are the 2 used stones in Finland. And when we did this project and the calculation, you must remember that in one EPD document, in our case, the calculation is a median calculation of the data provided by several companies. So for example, I think there was 8 companies just for the raw blocks, and they then gave their data, and it was calculated as a medium value. And the results. We all know, since we are working in the natural stone industry, we all know that the results are good for natural stone at the moment. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the figures, but we can say with pride and joy that natural stone really has a small carbon footprint. And you can see from the list that, for example, if you compare the rectangular paving stone, or you compare that with the slab for kitchen surface, the tabletop, you can see that the more processing you need to do, the bigger the carbon emission is. So it's quite logic. So now to the comparison part. Before I show you any comparisons, you need to keep these in mind when you are looking at the comparisons. These calculations and comparisons are only valid in the Finnish market. So anything going outside Finnish borders, these EPDs are not valid anymore. So we are referring to local stone in our comparisons. So keep that in mind. And the length of transportation is measured from the origin country to Finland. So that also really impacts the comparison figures. And of course, you need to remember that since the EPDs are rather new in the construction sector, there is a limited number of EPDs available. And usually those EPDs that are available seem to be on the eco-friendly end of product selection. So when you see, for example, the figures for clay tile, you know that it's probably done in a more environmentally friendly way than the comparison tile. And what you also need to remember is that these figures are estimated for 50 years of lifespan. It's really short period of time for natural stone, but this is something that is coming from the standard as well. So it is 50 years. All right. So rectangular paving stone, 80 millimeters. And the figures you are seeing here are kilograms of CO2 emission per square meter. And if you have a look at the bottom line, you can see that there are product stage, transport to location, spare parts and maintenance, and demolition. Those stages come from the EPD documentation. But in this calculation, we can only see from the product stage to transport to location. And in some cases, for example, for concrete, there is the spare parts and maintenance section. But the demolition part or recycling part is not in this comparison. And here you can see, if you have a look at the natural stone and the concrete made in Finland as well, it seems that the production is quite the same. But when we are starting to look at the concrete more carefully, you can see that if the lifespan is 50 years, you might want to change some of the stones after maybe 10 years or even sooner. So you must remember that in this case, the emissions come from that. It is the spare parts and maintenance. Okay, then the next one, curbstone. And also the comparison was done for natural stone coming from Finland and concrete tiles coming from Finland. And as I said, that the comparisons, the concrete tiles seem to be from the more eco-friendly end. You can see the difference here. So this particular concrete tile does not have that huge of emissions during the product stage. But again, we know that concrete doesn't last for 100 years or even 50 years. So again, the spare parts will cause emissions. And this is for the countertops. Natural stone countertop being 30 millimeters and the composite 20 millimeters. And here we can start seeing the difference already in the product stage. So we know that the composites are baked in ovens and actually the sheets are man-made. And here comes the difference in the product stage emissions. And also in this particular comparison, you can see already the transportation, how it is growing the emissions. So kind of a quick rule that whenever a stone or another product is being transferred or transported from A to B, you start having bigger carbon footprints, because transportation is one of the parts that has the huge emissions. Of course, you have biofuels and all these kinds of new inventions also in the logistics area, but at the moment it's still not reflecting to the logistics emissions. And yes, so floor and facade tiles, 20 and 30 millimeters. Here you can see that the more or the thicker the stone is, or the tile is, the higher the emissions. And in this particular case, you can also start seeing again the transportation emissions growing hugely in this one. And I wanted to have the slate example here because this is probably the best stone asset that we have at the moment, since in this case the natural stone or the slates produced in Finland are actually almost 100% manual work, so no machinery needed. It really takes off the emissions compared to clay blocks, or let's not even talk about the concrete tiles in this case. So the emission differences are huge. And okay, now we have been looking at examples that are per square meter, but when you start multiplying these amounts with 1,000 square meters, then you can really start seeing the difference. And then you can really say that, hey, look at this. With natural stone, you can have 100,000 kilograms less of CO2 emissions. So, fair and simple. And yes, I totally agree with Gerd, and say that the momentum for natural stone is now, and especially with the marketing that we have done here in Finland, everything is about, at the moment, about the carbon footprint. And of course, the other magnificent features of natural stone, but at the moment, the carbon issues are so important. So, thank you. And let's be in touch.
Hello, thank you very much, Ms. Sini.
Thank you.
I would like to ask a few questions, actually starting with Mr. Professor Merke. Mr. Merke, we know natural stone is a sustainable product compared to most of the artificial products. But do you think in Europe, is it recognized by the governments and by the countries? Because also we see a tendency towards extracting of, we see a negative tendency towards extracting of natural stone. But although we know it is environmentally friendly product, what is your opinion about this subject?
My experiences during the last, let's say, 5 or 6 years, that we have to take decision makers, members of the parliament, governmental officials to our quarries and really explain it. I mean, it's not fair saying we do not want to have dirt in our countries, dirt where is fine in China or India, but not in Europe. That's not a fair attitude. And I would say that more and more people in the decision-making process accept that there is a, let's say, a timely disturbance of a tiny little sector. I mean, Turkey is in a better situation because you're a huge country, but in smaller countries like in Germany, then you have next to your swimming pool, you have the quarry. This is for many people not very nice, but we do a lot to find a kind of compromise. Then we have undermining quarrying, which is coming along in England or in Italy or Switzerland a lot. This helps, but the tendency concerning natural stone is positive. And we, for example, do a lot of marketing going from the state authorities to people of public positive image, showing that, let's say, the new kitchen top of a superstar is uses natural stone. This helps a lot. I mean, we had a much more difficult situation 10 years ago, but at the moment the tendency is towards stone, take stone and don't transport it to a long period of time.
That's great to hear. That's good to hear. The tendency is positive in Europe about natural stone. I think in short time that would be the case in Turkey. It's not yet. We cannot communicate it well enough, but I think soon we will have better chance to explain that natural stone is environmentally friendly and also a sustainable product in Turkey. Thank you so much. Next time.
Okay,
Yes.
bye-bye.